guys, this is Insert Quarter Gaming, and today we're going to bring you our review on Destiny. Destiny is Activision's new game, also by Bungie. It pays homage to Halo in a lot of ways. There are three different class types that you could be: Warlock, Hunter, and Titan. As you can see right here, I'm a Titan. I also started another Hunter character. This is the world map, and it shows the different various places you can do. On the side here, these are your weekly missions that you can do. Different strikes, which are raids, and different multiplayer. Here's the Vanguard, which are boss battles that you can do with friends and get some good equipment. Here are the Crucible, which is your multiplayer. You can do various different game types like free-for-all and team deathmatch. Here's the loading screens for this game. They are actually oddly beautiful and not a typical loading screen. It's kind of more Mass Effect-like. It shows a journey to the place that you're going to. Kind of gives you a preview of where you're going to be and where you're going to be fighting on. So it kind of breaks out of the norm. Here we're going to play some Rumble, which is free-for-all. What's interesting is it shows all the characters that you play against. It shows you and everybody else, so you can kind of get a feel for who you're playing, what types of characters you're playing against, and their armor that they're wearing. Different stat levels, like different abilities that you get at different levels and such. It doesn't apply to multiplayer, so just the class types would bring the best advantage. There are three different gun types in this game. This is the primary that I'm using right now. There's your primary, your special, and your heavy, which each colors are white, green, and purple ammo that you can pick up from these weapon caches here, which is an interesting thing that Bungie applied to this game, because they've never done anything like that before. It's very handy and something great to have on the fly. With most games, there's new terminology. In this game, the terminology changes over from Halo. Instead of double kill, it's double down, and there's bullseye instead of headshot. There's a special thing in this game called supers, which are kind of like what Halo Reach tried to do, but didn't do too well. And depending on how many kills you get, you have a super bar there right above the weapon and the ammo there. When it gets full, each different character has a different super that they can use to take out and do one-hit kills to any enemies that are nearby. So it's very nice for a quick kill, or if you get in over your head, see that's supercharged. Here is your equipment, where you can switch out different guns and different equipment. You can upgrade them and upgrade your character. Here's your bounties and your items that you can accumulate. The bounties are used to get different armors later on. You fill up a level and you can buy better armor, which will get you over level 20, which is the max that you can reach without the high armor. Here's your friends list, and you can view different friends and their stats from that screen there. Here is the story mission screens, where you can see the different kinds of missions that you can do. Strike missions, which are like the Vanguard missions before. Patrol, which you can just pick up missions on the fly and do them. And then there's standard story missions that you can do to advance the story. Here's a quick story mission that we're going to do. This is, I believe, on Venus, and we're about to show you something very familiar that reminds me of Halo. We're going to summon our vehicle. This is what's called the Sparrow, which is your mode of transportation to get across some of these very big maps. It kind of reminds me of a Ghost. There's another vehicle in this game that reminds me of a Wraith, kind of, sort of. It's nice how they bring it back. See these characters, these there were some people back there. They can drop in and out of your game at any time. Here is one of the races that I'm fighting against. This is the Fallen. There's 4 different races: the Fallen, the Vex, which are kind of like the Geth from Mass Effect, the Cabal, which are these really big guys, and the Hive, which are like the Flood. As you can see right here, I'm collecting some of the collectibles in this game, which reflect on the item screen that I showed earlier. That I just picked up was an engram, and you can take them to the Cryptarch to decode the engrams, and those will sometimes either they'll give you an item right away, or they'll yield you a random item, which you can get now that the patch came out, a item of your color or better. So it's always nice that you can just randomly get a legendary or exotic piece, even though your chances are very, very slim. Some pros and cons about Bungie, just to wrap this up real quick. It's got some MMO qualities to it, but it doesn't really, not just MMOs, but it's a bunch of other games too, other kinds of genres. It doesn't really hit that on any of them. It doesn't bring that, tries to be everything, but it can't capitalize on one thing. It's nice that Peter Dinklage is in it, but don't expect his voice acting to be Tyrion from Game of Thrones, because it's not going to be. It's very monotone, and for a robot being monotone, I can see why they did it, but you look at Cortana or Claptrap robots in games nowadays, and they have emotion in their speech, and so you would think that maybe their character would want to have some more character. One thing that I'd say that I don't really care for the most out of this game is the pause screen. When you pause the game, it doesn't pause the game like Dead Space or Resident Evil, but the way that the pause screen comes up, that inventory screen that we showed before, you could still be attacked, and it doesn't really seem too integrated into the game to where you're like, okay, this is the screen, and it just doesn't feel right. Well, thank you guys. We give Destiny an 8, and we appreciate you watching us. Subscribe, comment, and stay tuned for more from Insert Quarter Gaming.